Well, you've likely heard the story. Almost 20 years ago, a pair of the iconic Wizard of Oz ruby red slippers were stolen right here in Minnesota.
As Caroline Cummings reports, now a team of curators at the Judy Garland Museum in Grand Rapids is kickstarting a campaign to get them back permanently.
This yellow brick road takes you to the heart of Grand Rapids, Minnesota. Hardly the land of Oz, but home to a place just as magical if you ask Melissa Christopherson and Ruby Amanis, who traveled here from across the country.
In my private life, I'm kind of the weird girl that is obsessed with Judy Garland.
That's
but
true.
here
You're normal. Yeah,
absolutely normal.
These two are admitted Judy Garland superfans who've made many a pilgrimage here to the iconic actress's childhood home, now a museum dedicated to her life and legacy, including her starring role in one of the most famous movies of all time.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Lots of unique pieces. We have the original carriage from the Wizard of Oz. We have the Winky sword from the Witch's Castle. We have a test dress from the Wizard of Oz.
Janie Heights is the executive director of the Judy Garland Museum. She's keenly aware that of all of the priceless pieces in this carefully curated collection, nothing can ever top what was lost.
It's become an infamous thing for us. Will forever be known as the place where the ruby slippers were stolen.
Do you remember it very vividly?
Very well. It was an unbelievable set of circumstances that came together.
Curator John Kelsch was there and says the heist is straight out of Hollywood. The alarm system was disarmed at the emergency exit doors. Too many kids on field trips were inadvertently setting it off. So in 2005, when the thief broke in, sirens blared, but no police were notified. And there, the famous footwear stood in this gallery, ripe for the taking under a plexiglass case. All that was left was a single shred of evidence, one sequin from the slippers.
I got a phone call right after I got out of the shower. All Kathy said was, "They're gone." And I knew exactly what she meant. I didn't think we'd ever recover them.
But ultimately,
under the rainbow.
The FBI and Grand Rapids Police did recover them in 2018. Two people have since been charged, one pleading guilty to the crime. Brian Matson, an investigator with Grand Rapids Police who inherited the case, was part of the sting operation to get them back.
During this whole investigation, I came to understand what the slippers stood for and what they meant to people, not just here in Grand Rapids, but not Minnesota, but the whole world.
Earlier this year, a reunion between California collector Michael Shaw and the iconic shoes he had loaned to the museum all of those years ago. In December, they'll go on the auction block. Valuation, $3.5 million.
I think if Judy could look down, she'd smile if she saw them here.
The Tin Man wanted a heart, the Scarecrow in search of a brain, the Lion, courage, and the Judy Garland Museum.
There's no place like home.
Well, they're looking to get the ruby slippers back on exhibit permanently.
Like in the Wizard of Oz, Dorothy finds her way back home. So we think it's a very happy ending to a long, drawn-out story.
House File 4124 is passed.
The Minnesota legislature approved $100,000 in state funding to kickstart that fundraising campaign. Heights won't say just how much they've raised because it's a public auction, but she says they're taking donations large and small.
Do you think that this museum can pull it off and that you can raise enough money to get them back?
I do.
Until then, they're clicking their heels together 3 times, hoping the dream comes true.
I can't think of any other place that they belong besides a museum that honors the person that wore them.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
With photojournalist Ben Harper, Caroline Cummings, WCCO News.
The auction for the ruby slippers is December 7th. Heritage Auctions will be taking the shoes on an international tour this fall before they're up for grabs, and that tour will be in Tokyo, London, New York, and Dallas.